Lust, at first glance, may seem like just a fleeting thought or a harmless desire, something many brush off as natural, human, even excusable. But it is much more than that. It is a powerful and persistent hunger that disguises itself as love, as connection, as fulfillment. But in its true nature, lust is a deceptive fire. It whispers lies into the heart. That satisfaction lies just one step further, just one more image, one more touch, one more indulgence. But like a mirage in the desert, every time you reach for it, it pulls you deeper into thirst. It begins silently, imperceptibly, perhaps with a passing glance, an emotional void, a deep loneliness or the ache of rejection. And as the seed of desire is nurtured in secrecy, it begins to grow, quietly wrapping its roots around the soul, until the line between love and lust, between need and obsession, is blurred beyond recognition. From a psychological perspective, lust activates one of the brain's most powerful chemicals, dopamine. It's the same neurotransmitter that is released when we anticipate a reward or experience pleasure. Each time we give in to lustful impulses, whether through pornography, fantasy, or secret affairs, we flood the brain with dopamine. And as with any pleasure-inducing substance, the brain adapts. What once satisfied us no longer feels enough. The brain demands more stimulation, more intensity, more risk. And soon, the very thing we turned to for relief begins to enslave us. We lose the capacity for stillness. Real connection feels dull. Intimacy becomes distorted. Our relationships suffer. Our minds become restless. Our hearts grow numb. The Bible does not turn a blind eye to the gravity of lust. In fact, Jesus raises the standard far beyond what society finds acceptable. In Matthew 5:28, he says, "But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart." Jesus speaks not only to the act, but to the intention, to the silent narratives within the mind, the secret meditations of the heart. He reveals that sin is not born merely in what we do, but in what we desire. One of the most sobering biblical examples is the story of King David and Bathsheba. In 2 Samuel 11, David, a man after God's own heart, allowed himself to gaze where he should have looked away. In a moment of idleness, he saw Bathsheba bathing and chose desire over obedience. What followed was a tragic unraveling: adultery, deceit, and ultimately the murder of her husband. The ripple effect of his lust brought devastation not only to his own life, but to his kingdom and his legacy. David later cried out in deep sorrow in Psalm 51, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me." That is what lust does. It pollutes the heart, clouds the mind, and twists the soul into believing that temporary pleasure is worth more than eternal peace. And yet in our modern age, lust has become normalized, even celebrated. Entire industries profit off of it. Advertisements exploit it. Our digital world makes it accessible in ways past generations could never imagine. With a single tap, images flood the screen, images that stimulate the brain, but leave the soul starving. Over time, we begin to confuse pain with pleasure, connection with consumption, and love with lust. We search for intimacy, but settle for intensity. We seek closeness, but run to secrecy. We long to be seen, but hide behind screens. And yet in all this, Jesus stands as the gentle Savior, not pointing fingers of shame, but extending hands of mercy. In John 8, a woman caught in the very act of adultery is thrown before Jesus. She is humiliated, accused, and judged by the crowd. But Jesus, full of grace and truth, looks at her and says, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." He defends her dignity, not her